Hey guys, the good, the bad, the buggy, here to talk to you about playing the light artillery cruiser in DREADNOUGHT. It's one of 4 main ships that you start the game with and fills with all the sniper. It's really powerful against destroyers, it will smash them in a few hits. It's also incredibly effective at keeping the enemy team suppressed, picking off injured enemies and taking out healers at range. But due to your small life pool and lack of armour, you're really susceptible to corvettes and burst damage, so positioning is crucial, as well as staying with your battle group and healers and having a good situational awareness. These ships are surprisingly mobile, especially when power is diverted to the engines, so use this as alongside your cloaking ability to get into nice advantageous spots where you flank the enemy, hit their healer and get back out of there before they realise what's going on. But doing this will leave you extremely vulnerable if you can get rushed by anyone, so only do this if you're in an advantageous situation, especially in team elimination. If you've got a 3-ship advantage, then do this, but if not, I would not recommend it. It's a high risk play, so if it works out, you could win the game for your team. If it fails, you've lost a really powerful ship. In the onslaught game mode, just try and find a little bit of cover, hover just above it, and then you can pick off enemy assault ships, racking up 30 points a shot, and whenever you see a player ship, just start blasting away at that. Alongside the rest of your battle group, you should do a lot of damage to enemies in the open, and once again aim for the healers and destroyers before anyone else. But if you're going to shoot at a ship that isn't aware of you, try and divert power to your weapons, then start attacking, because the damage boost that will give you for your first 2 or 3 shots is absolutely immense. Once you've used up all your energy, turn on siege mode if they still haven't got behind cover, and land all 3 to 4 of those shots. If you do that, you'll often destroy the enemy ship. Most artillery ships will try and hang at their extreme range. Often this is really good at the start of the game, but as the 2 battle groups get closer and closer, that will mean that your healers and destroyers are further away from you. When this starts to happen, you need to move with them, because enemy corvette pilots, who are the ones that will hunt you down and destroy you in seconds, will look out for this. If you see your battle group moving away, try and keep up with them. You'll often survive better if you sit on top of the healers and destroyers. That way you'll be in their line of sight and they can rapidly rush to your defence and heal you if needs be. Being on top of the battle group has the added bonus of scaring off a lot of corvette pilots, because especially in team elimination where you only get the 1 life, you don't want to be doing a kamikaze run to take out an artillery ship. What they all want to be focusing on is the healers, but before that, if they can take out your artillery ships, why not? So try and stay with that battle group and keep in mind where they are at all times. If you get caught like hovering above cover shooting, often divert power to the engines. You should be able to get back behind cover before the enemy artillery ship can counterfire you or whatever's hitting you, and you'll be able to block the line of sight. This also works against missiles as well. The main thing to remember when attacking the enemy though is that you're a burst fire ship. You do a massive amount of damage in a short space of time, but then between each shot there's a long reload time, so make every single shot count. Lead the enemy. You know the travel time is about 1 second for your shot. Then if they're travelling at high speed, aim slightly in front of them or whatever direction they're moving. One really important thing, and this applies to every single class, never go down with any energy left in your ship. If you're about to get taken out, divert energy to your weapons and give out as much damage as you can before the end. If you can make it behind cover, divert power to your engines and try and zoom out of there. Alternatively, if you're about to get hit by a load of missiles and your anti-missile batteries are offline, put power into your shield or try and get behind a bit of cover. Cover will often block the missiles, so you should be able to avoid them that way. Just never go down with any energy left. Now we've covered a few basics of play. Let's look more in depth at the 2 different types of artillery ship that there are. The first of which is your starting ship. It has a 1-shot cannon which can only shoot in a cone in front of it. This is great at long range, but as the enemy gets closer, they can get underneath the ship. That will mean you'll have to rapidly descend as well as backpedal to get the enemy back in your cone of fire. There's an alternative version, which is more of a mobile weapons platform. It has a 10-shot magazine and can shoot in a 360 arc around it. This means that you can be flying away from the enemy, peppering them at long range with deadly accurate rounds. Each hit will do less damage than its single shot counterpart, but they both have the exact same DPS. Out of the 2 versions, I think this one has a slight edge, just because it gives you a lot more mobility, and also if the enemy is moving erratically trying to dodge your fire, you can pepper the whole area and probably score a few hits. One drawback is though that the time that you're exposed to the enemy for them to counterfire, because to do the same amount of damage as the 1-shot you need to empty pretty much your entire magazine before you can duck behind cover, which obviously does take a little bit longer than shooting 1 shot and getting away. Another choice for your loadout that you're going to have is between siege mode and catapult. I personally don't rate catapult very highly just because it's another missile system. They're easy to avoid, you've got all the countermeasures to missiles, as well as the fact that they'll shoot up in the air, and if there's any obstacles in the way, they'll crash into there and they'll be destroyed, so they're pretty much wasted. With the siege mode, if you apply energy to your weapons first, shoot those shots, then activate siege mode, you can usually nail any ship before they even know what's going on. Alternatively, straight into siege mode, do a huge amount of damage and get behind cover again. The only drawback to siege mode is that it drains all your energy, as well as leaving you immobile for a short amount of time. So only pop it when you're safe or literally about to go down and you just need to do a little bit more damage before the end. The choice between damaging missile and a slowing missile, I would always go for the damaging missile, just because a dead enemy can't do anything anyway. If you slowed them and they've already got behind cover, what's the point there? You're not going to be able to do any more damage to them. So I think that's a bit too situational. Between the anti-missile lasers and the auto turrets, I would go for the anti-missile lasers just because you're more likely to get pinged across the map with missiles. Even if you can get behind cover, it's just nice to have a backup for those times. If you're going to get hit by corvettes, the little turret isn't going to do a huge amount of damage unless they're flying in circles around you not doing any damage. Their base damage is so high relative to your life that it's going to be pretty much pointless. Between dive and cloaking, I would always go cloaking, just because you're against human opponents. They will often miss things, so it'll always give you a little bit of an edge. Dive, I can see the users, it's quite situational though. Once again, I'd go with cloaking. On a final note, when engaging the enemy at long range, just try and stay bobbing and weaving at all times. This will make it a lot harder for enemy snipers to pinpoint you, and when you do start to take fire, a lot of their rounds will miss, as they've got to try and lead you every single time. So, in summary, mark your targets, stay with your team, use up all your energy, pick on enemy destroyers and snipers, and kill their healers ASAP. Watch out for enemy corvettes and ships getting too close, and mind your position. Thanks for watching, hope this helped. Good luck and happy hunting.